Hey, you see the shirt? See the hat? GVK. All right. I'm going to do a power up review, and I'm actually fighting a migraine, so please excuse the more mellowness of this right now. All right. So I'm going to try to not hold it for too long. As a matter of fact, got my handy dandy timer. All right. So Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler free as possible. Then I'm going to go to the spoiler section. It's a power up review. Okay. First and foremost, I think the movie was very well crafted. You learned a lot about the MonsterVerse, and I love how every single film you learn more and more and more about this universe, and I think it's great. I think it's smart. It pads out the story really, really, really well. When they do that, it gives people a lot to chew on while they're in between things. The humans, because people complained about the humans from prior. Now, let me be clear. I don't watch Godzilla movies. I don't watch kaiju movies for the humans, unless humans are in giant robots, like Pacific Rim. Okay? And yes, that is Kong, or that's Godzilla versus Cthulhu, with GVK hat, baby. Just in case you were wondering. I thought this movie handled the human pacing extremely well. It handled pacing very well. I think it's more palpable for people. Me personally, the last movie didn't bother me like at all with the people. I don't care about when I watch these films, and I thought the people's motivations were fine, and I thought the way they did this stuff in the previous film, how they kind of got to those points, were totally fine. And for me, they actually made Mothra worth something. And yes, I know there are people out there who love them some Mothra 24/7. Mothra had their own movie, the whole nine. Mothra is not the same for me. Mothra to me puts things to sleep and dies. That's all Mothra does. I actually don't understand the hyper insane appeal of Mothra. Mothra annoys me. And the last movie actually fixed Mothra. Made Mothra feel like a threat. And I was very happy by that. I was like, wow, I actually like Mothra in this for once, because Mothra is ridiculous. Now, I don't hate Mothra. I will watch a movie with Mothra right now. It's just that Mothra is not that cool to me, and I don't understand how people are so obsessed with her. But I did like the fact that they stuck the twins in there to do the Mothra thing. I liked how they did that. And in this film, you definitely see Kong's maturity, but Kong does look different than the promotional stuff and even some of the toys. Kong had this big beard, but in this one, Kong has a beard, but it's definitely not as pronounced. Kong doesn't look as aged up as the other stuff showed it. But it's funny, it works, because it feels like Kong may be still like 20 years old if you were going to go by human years, early 20s. The fight choreography, I will say this, was on fire. Like, the way they handle things, and you get to learn the intelligence and how these monsters kind of work. You get to see how some of this world works differently. You get to learn a lot about Kong and kind of why Kong, and not in so many ways, but why Kong is kind of relates or kind of mixes with humans pretty well. Versus Godzilla, which is more about the Earth, where Kong seems to be more about people. The fight where people were like this, oh, the size difference. Kong in 50 years grew to a decent size, and it was a decent size enough to go up against it. You don't always have to be the biggest to do it. Kong fought differently. Kong thought smart, and Kong moved. Remember, if you see the previous films, spoiler if you didn't, Kong used weapons. That shows a sign of intelligence. And in this movie, Kong's intelligence really does go on display. And it's something I was a little surprised about, actually. Surprised me quite a bit. The pacing of this film, like I said, was more probably palpable. I don't watch kaiju films to see humans. I don't really care. The humans are there to facilitate the kaiju fight for me, or the aliens, or whoever it is really, because in the end, you just need to let the giant monsters fight. That's what I really care about. But I have liked the humans. I didn't actually get that bothered by the last humans. I thought that group that wanted to Earth that way, that it kind of made sense that that group would exist and why. And I didn't think it was bad. The reason why Godzilla's kind of turned in this particular thing was a really interesting twist, and they finally depicted Godzilla as a bad guy. So that was really interesting. I was like, cool, you found a way to use a movie where Godzilla's a bad guy, and I think that the the human interactions were good. I liked how they have Team Kong, Team Godzilla. Yeah, you should have noticed that by the trailers. That's not a spoiler to me. And the way it worked, I thought was really, really good. I think that, like I said, the choreography was so on point because it was so different than King of the Monsters, where it was more of just this vicious kind of. This one was more of like ego, like who I'm the man, no, I'm the man kind of thing, and and it was like mano a mano. This is my ego to your ego, and it's really cool how they did the fight and everything, and how they handled stuff. Um, with some of Kong's history, you see what's special about that axe. If you pay attention, you'll know. You'll notice there was a lot of inner stories that I thought was really cool, and you got every time they just leave you learning more, like wanting more and learning more. So, uh, I say if you've liked the previous movies, you like Pacific Rim, stuff like that, watch it. When you see who the villain is, because I don't know, not everyone watched the last trailers or whatever, so I won't spoil it. But the villain was impactful. I know it's going to make my one friend extremely happy because as soon as they even announced this movie, all he kept talking about was this villain and the what he wanted, and he was like, "I'm so about this thing." So I was like, "Wow." Um, so like I said, I won't say it here just in case for people who didn't see the last trailer, so they don't know because I came across it by accident. I was like, oh, they revealed in the last trailer. And why the things are going on and and what their big fight is and what happens at the fight. It was just all really well done, really well put together. I think everyone really moved the story along and it was really fun time. Like I said, the only reason why you see me kind of subdued is because I'm fighting a migraine. Um, a nasty one. I've taken some medicine, so don't worry. It's just still here. It's still lingering behind my eyes. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna rate this movie as a blow my mind. I thought it was different at parts. It GVK had the oh my gosh moments, or not GVK. King KOF King or KOM King of the Monsters had the oh my gosh moments. This one had the whoa moments. Like ooh, this is tough. So yeah, and I like that. So definitely blew my mind. I'm going to get into a little bit of spoilers, and your warning is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. For one, I enjoyed the fact that Kong is like intelligent, like early man, and you find out that the Kongs are pretty much like early man, and it's crazy that it's like that. Like they built a temple. They actually built things, and not just weapons and tools. They actually build stuff, and I thought that was crazy. Um, and you really get to see Kong's intelligence display. Even how he fights when he realizes, okay, you got frost breath. I know what to do. I'm going to catch you, and I'm going to keep stopping it. And every time something happens, I'm going to find a way to stop it. And he finds some ways. Like one of my favorites is when he takes the axe thing and just shoves it in Godzilla's mouth. He's like, "Oh, you're going to do that? Yeah, sure you are." And you see, like he kind of boom, 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 and it was like a back and forth. And I like the fact that they went one way, then they went the other, and then they had that third round, which is the final round before the big, big thing came, which was humongous, by the way. And I found that funny in a sense because the previous one, spoiler alert if you didn't see it, but Kong wins because Kong's the one that goes out to the ocean. But at the time, Kong was way more popular because literally it was King Kong was was all the rave. And I think when King Kong versus Godzilla was supposed to be King Kong versus the Frankenstein, but they couldn't use Frankenstein, so they did. I think they took Kong and put him in Frankenstein's spot, and then put in Godzilla's spot that because Godzilla feeds off electricity, but in that particular movie, Godzilla couldn't feed off electricity, which is weird because you've literally seen a movie where Godzilla is fed off electricity prior to it. So they were like, it's Godzilla's weakness, and it gives King Kong strength, and King Kong gets the electrical powers to even it out because King Kong kept throwing things and was using nunchucks. So that was fun, but this one was really cool. You got to see a lot of personality coming out of Kong, and it was something. It was a sight to behold. How much personality actually was coming out of Kong and Godzilla. Godzilla to me has the intelligence of a really smart dog or a really smart cat. Like my cat, I can say certain things she knows, or I'll say go to your office. She has a thing that that's her call her office, and she'll go to her office and lay down in her office when I tell her, I need you to go to the office, leave me alone. Or if I wanted her to pick her food, I'll read off the foods and sit them down, and I'll be like, do you want this? And this is beef. She'll sit there. Like, do you want salmon? Do you want chicken? Say she wants chicken, she'll pop it. And I'll be like, okay, so you don't want salmon. Now, you don't want beef. Now, but you want chicken. Or, like that. Or she'll put her nose to it. Shines of very, very engaging intelligence. Or my parents' dog, who's not supposed to go upstairs. I didn't know that. I was upstairs. He's upstairs. They tell him to come down. So when I tell him, hey, man, you got to go, what he does is he lays behind this thing where I can't see him and lays down. Because he wanted to be near me. So stuff like that. Where King Kong showed more signs of like early man. The intelligence that was displayed, the facial expressions, the brains of it all was like, whoa. You actually can speak the language and speak it well. Like, you understand what's going on. Yeah, he was simple, but we're talking, if you take a Cro-Magnon man versus us, you're definitely going to see the difference. So, like I said, this is a blow my mind. I enjoyed this movie thoroughly. I would recommend it if you like the Monsterverse. Even if you don't like the Monsterverse, I say watch it anyway. It's King Kong versus Godzilla. Like, what's not to love? I really enjoyed the teams. I liked Millie Bobby Brown's character a lot in this one. I thought she had a lot of growth and how she worked out. I just thought it was all around just good. I think it was more palatable for the humans, for people. Like I said, I don't really care about the humans, but if you give me a good human story, I'll acknowledge it. And I thought the story was good. So that's all I really have to say. This is Geek Protagonist. You tell me what you think. I wish I should have said that earlier. You stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real. I'm sorry, I got it. My brain's on fire. So I will see you.